All right, Doc here from North America. It's the middle of the week. Happy Hump Day. Just another fun-filled day. I guess you can say the fix is in. Mrs. Yellen did most of the talking. Mr. Biden shook his head, and Mr. Powell listened. That's pretty much the way it seemed to play out. And now we are at a point where, I guess they'll raise some rates here over the next 2 meetings, and then they'll pause. So it sounds like they're going to really stop out somewhere around 1 3/4, something like that. Bonds have adjusted off and on a few times. They're still hanging out in the threes. I guess there's hope that they'll take them up into the threes somewhere along the line. We thought at one point we had a chance to see something like 1 and or 4 or 4.5. I didn't really think 4.5, but I thought maybe like 3.75. But obviously that has Mr. Biden has basically tried to. It's very odd. The whole thing, the whole White House is very confusing. The senior staff contradicts the president, so the president doesn't know what to do about that. Weird, isn't it? He's only been in government 48 years, and somehow or another he doesn't know how to stop them from contradicting him. So he says something out on the on the podium somewhere. He says something, in a foreign country. He says something to somebody somewhere in one of our states, and then they walk it back literally minutes later. The White House puts out a statement saying that that was not exactly what the president meant. So it's, hey Janos, hey Robin. Yesterday, as I'm saying now, pretty much Mrs. Yellen did all the talking. Mr. Biden shook his head, and Mr. Powell said yes. So what it really comes down to is that they've, I guess, as I'm saying, to a great extent, it looks like they're just going to have a couple raises and then stop. They're hoping to change interest rates. Somehow or another, they have this hope. This is the administration has this hope that they can change interest rates that will make everything go away. And obviously not hurt the economy at the same time. So in other words, a couple of interest rate adjustments will resolve the whole issue. That's what it really comes down to. And Mrs. Yellen disappointed I guess you could say, the middle of the road viewers of her. I guess, what do you call it? When she was, I always thought she was political during the. When she was Fed chair, but a lot of people thought she was not being political, and obviously now they realize she's political, and so in the end result is that we're probably going to see, like I said, we're not going to see 4%. We're going to see like 3.5, maybe at best, out of a long shot down the road. Until the Congress changes and we see the power of the change. If we get 290, 290 or 295 seats, it'll be a whole new economy, back to the Trump economy. If we get 270 seats, it'll be a slowed economy. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. And Mrs. Yellen yesterday made it very clear that she is, she apologized. She did apologize for calling it transitory inflation back in September and October. She did apologize for that. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, it just goes on crazy and crazy. And on top of all that, as I was saying a few minutes ago, there was a complaint about the idea that the White House senior staff keeps on walking back everything Mr. Biden says. Everything he says, they walk back. So he answers, I guess, foreign leaders, political opposition, the media. He answers them like he answered them for the last 48 years or 50 years now. But now he's president, so he can't hide behind anything. So instead, the senior staff at the White House walks it back. They change it. And in a matter of sometimes 5, 6, 7 minutes after he said it, they put a press release out saying that the White House, the press didn't appreciate what he said and didn't understand exactly what he meant, and we're going to clarify it. And then they clarify it, and it's usually the opposite of what he said. So, he was complaining yesterday about it. Someone should have told him that he was president. He was complaining about that. Yeah, really, an apology fixes everything. Yeah, let's check out the. You can see starting off with the Swiss. You see the dollar is firming up a little bit in there. Let's go check out the. Let's see, where's it at? Let's put up the S&P. There it is, right there. They've lifted them up. They're starting to lift them. They were down. They were sideways. Now they're up. There's some strength coming in. We got down about 450 points yesterday. Kind of a little shy from where I was expecting. I was expecting to see, 600 points, something like that. 575. Instead, we're down a little better than we didn't hit 500. And so they did a lot of correcting yesterday. We'll see how they hold up today. And maybe they take them down tomorrow morning, and then boom, off they go. That's that 48 hour thing I was talking about on Friday. I'm taking a sip of my tea here. That's good. So that's exactly what happened. So now let's take a look at the S&Ps. We'll put it up on J4X too. Let's see, right. Where are you? There you are. S&P 500, right there. All right. So you can see here, it's up. You see all the green. You see all the green here. A little turn here. So it's trying to digest. That's that digestion that we talked about on Monday. I figured that with the U.S. markets open a full 48 hours, up to the end of the day, they'll kick it around. It was down, 400 and something yesterday, and then, they brought it back. Let's take a look at that, since that was really our first day of the week. We'll go into my intraday chart and just look at it, see how it traded. Let me just see how many days back this goes. Yeah, so it goes back 2 days. Cool. Maybe we'll do 1 day and then put a second day in. There we are. And then let's go back 2 days. This should fill in a few seconds. We'll take a look at that. I say the index has held. Stocks go up. Dollar should go. Yeah, really. Dollar is pushing down. I figure a little sideways action in here. Something, there's something going on when it comes to, we've talked about this, to try to understand how the central banks are treating the currency pairs with this inflation situation with future interest rate increases. That definitely has a big influence. Come on, charts, let's go back. Let's see. Let's try it this way again. Let's go back to 1. Let's see if everything's filled in. Yeah, they're all filled in. Okay, so in this case here's the Dow. And it's going back to, when is that? That is last night. And let's see if we can get the second day in there again. Come on. Well, we'll let it cook, and we'll go back and let's take. Let's see, where else can we look at it? because sometimes the futures don't always carry it. But let's just take a look at the futures contract and see what yesterday's low was. There's right there. And let me put it up on there. And then we'll go over to the stock index, the dollar index, and see what they're doing too. I see Dow Jones contract right there. There. Yeah, yesterday's low was 32,722. And that is the low. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so it's there. It's giving this thing a spin to see if we can get this thing to backfill. You almost want to look at it in a minute action. Let's go find that minute chart that we're always fooling around with Jordan and a few of the others. You know what I'll do is I think I'll create a chart here, and we'll just go in through a minute chart, because all I want to do is I want to see the actual lows and how long it lasted if it went past 500. I was doing other things when it was happening. Let's see, futures. There we are. Format, settings, three, 24-hour. Let's make it like a 5-minute chart, because I just want to see the price itself. I think that would be very insightful for us. What a battle this thing is doing today. It doesn't want to spit out a 5-minute chart. All right. Anyhow, 722. Let's just go back to the regular chart. 722. It settled at where did it settle at? It settled at 33,158 and 722. So that's 438 points. So it backed off 438 points from the close of Friday to yesterday's low. And I'm assuming, just because of this action with the way the weekly's acting really well in here, we're in the daily buy for a bunch of days. Imagine that might have been the A. This is like the A, this is the B, and they're going to work on a C and push it up even more. I don't know if it's going to go through 34,000. I kind of doubt that, but that's the correction I was looking for. Let's check out the AUD rally and expectations. Oh, okay, we can do that. I'm just going to take a quick look at for Giannis, we're going to take a look at the dollar index real quick. There it is right there. You can see it's trying to bounce up today. Now let's jump over to AUD, and we'll get it up on our work too. And that's AUD dollar. AUD dollar. AUD dollar, here it is on J4X. It's been very firm over here on our work. Both are our work, because that's our indicator, the Manhattan indicator as I like to call it. And then here is AUD on the dollar side of it. You can see same situation. We've been in a daily buy since here, I guess. Did it go into the sell there? It did. It slipped into the sell for a day and went back into the buy. It's been in the weekly sell since back here in mid-April. Let's see if we can go like this. There we go. And let's grab a couple of these and we'll move this over. So this went into a sell for a day, and then this went back into a buy there, and then the original buy was right there. And the way we figure those things out is when you see the histogram or the white line, obviously they work together. They usually are when they're both plus, but when they're both they're both always plus or both always minus, or they're like 0-0 either way. But in the end result is that it went into the sell here, goes back, and let's grab another sell. Went into the sell there. There's the general analysis of it all, and that is that we can scrunch it up a little bit and you can get a flavor. It's had these consistencies. It gets into a buy here on a weekly signal right there down at the bottom. Daily buy joins in, and it's a good run. It stays on that run for a while, all the way up until this area right here. Closes that week in a sell, and then we went down. Right now we are flirting very cleanly with a daily and daily and a weekly buy. So I would imagine that they'll probably get it up into the 73 area, something like that. It seems to be bouncing off the range pretty well. And I guess there'll be a little dollar strength here. I'm thinking that it just kind of makes some sense that there'll be a little dollar strength since it's corrected so much against everything. This big long correction here. That was a pretty good correction. Or sell-off. I guess you could call it sell-off from the 76s down to the 68s. So, imagine that they'll put a nice little bounce into that. Something like we're reaching the middle of that now, the 72s, and it should be kind of noisy here. In other words, it should try to do a little correcting. Maybe not take out these lows back in the beginning of May right here. I mean the highs. Not take out the highs, and then maybe they'll do a little correcting here and try to lift up. In this case here, maybe that last one little sell, 5 days ago, might have been it. It's hard to say. We just follow the numbers, and right now the numbers are screaming in our face. Right there, you can see it. They're saying weekly buy. It's trying to be in a weekly buy, and we'll see it confirm it by the end of the week with this type of trading, and a daily buy. So you would assume that this could be, when you look at the whole chart overall, going back 6-7 months, it's traded in its range just like everybody else did. So maybe it's going to try to find its way back to the middle of this range, right there, the green line. I would think it'll at least go after these up in here, to play with the 73. I'd kind of be surprised if it goes after 74, but we'll see. I guess that's the best way of looking at it. Pop in, we'll look at it. We haven't had anybody around here that's actually paid attention to the Aussie in a long time. Oh, Giannis, that's no problem at all. I'm glad to, help out. You never know. We might find our next best trade by looking at something somebody else asked us to look at. That's usually the way it goes. Okay, so, all right, now here we go. Style. There we are. There's the 5 minute. Is that the 5 minute? Yeah, it's 5 minute. And so, as we widen it out like that, you can see here, yesterday, I guess at 1 o'clock, no, that's last night. There's that low. That's not it either. Didn't really fill in a lot, did it? Let's put 3 in there. I'd love to see the action. Oh, that's what it's in 2. That's what it is. Okay. There we go. Boy, I'll tell you, that silver, Metho, that silver drives me crazy. I cannot believe that they've taken it down 60% below its all-time highs. Okay, yeah, so here you go, Giannis, right here. It was right off, like the first hour of our open here in with the New York Open, New York Stock Exchange Open. The first, trading all the way up until there's the Open's at 8:30 on this chart. So there's 8:30. And they just start slamming it down and got down to that about 430 points down. And then it bounced around there for a couple, like an hour or so. It was like down 400, down 375, and then slowly worked up. And you can see it never looked back. It just kept on riding. That's it there. All right, now let's check out silver. All right, there she is. The silver is drifting. It's been in that weekly sell since this high right here. Let's see. We'll put it up on J4X too. There you are. And you see silver's been in the sell since this area here. And it was a long daily sell too. It went on for weeks, almost over a month. And then it jumped into the buy, and it's really had problems up in here. We really, I'll tell you what we really thought. We really thought since last year we saw that 24.55 as a resistance on the upside. We thought that when they climbed over the 24.55, we thought, oh, good, this might become the floor. And I think we could actually show you on the charts. There were points where it bounced off the 24.55 area and bounced back up. And I said to Robin, I thought, oh, man, are they going to finally develop a higher range in this product? But instead, no, they drove it down into like the 20s, 2055, 2056, something like that. So silver's been a real disappointment. They can't, they cannot get this thing to base, And I think I was saying yesterday in the webinar that the Fed, I labeled yesterday's webinar the Fed's war on metals, and you have to imagine that once the Congress changes, if they there's a chance, if it depends on how many seats they pick up, there's a chance that they could supersede the president and everything he does. So I think they need 288 seats or 290 seats. Right now, there's a look that they're going to have about 280 seats. If they get 290 seats, then we're going to see a whole new look to the whole market. I mean, a whole new look. It'll go right back to the Trump years, and that could be very positive for the world. So I hope that helped out 2000 Metho 2000. I hope that helped out because I'm not too comfortable with the way metals trade. They're not making any sense. It's like as if there's no inflation. There's like no Central European war. It's like there's nobody threatening nuclear weapons. I mean, the metals act like as if it's just another sunny day in the neighborhood. No problem there. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from there? We were looking at. We started off with the currencies, so we'll keep on marching through the currencies. But if anybody out there goes, "Oh, I want to see something," then we'll go look at it. We can stop what we're doing and take a look. So you can see here, right there, you can see the. Where is it at? The Swiss. There you go. Kind of inching its way up a little bit. The dollar's, sold off against it for like the last couple of weeks since that sell signal. We're getting very close to going into a buy today since the sell signal up in here. We are flirting with the weekly sell as we speak. There is some pressure coming in on that. So we'll keep an eye on that too at the same time. I'm not totally convinced that markets are going to really be too independent. Dukascopy has blocked my account. I guess you have to. Janos will give you a name and then you can communicate with them. Pablo. Yeah, talk to Janos. If Janos saw that right now, Pablo has an issue with his account. Maybe you can send him to the right person. No idea. I don't get into that side of the mechanics. There you go. And while you're giving Janos your information of the name, we'll take a look at the euro and see what the euro is up to. But I really have a doubt that we're going to see anything until the election. I mean, we keep on. I understand yesterday, we have what they call the primaries. These are the pre-elections, people to see who's going to run on a particular seat, and so I understand yesterday the fellow in Oregon, the fifth congressional district, backed by Biden, lost. So that's going to that stirs people up. That stirs the voting and so forth. Well, Pablo, I imagine I have no response from my. Now that's odd. They should be responding to you. I'm sure you just have to find the right person to communicate with. That's what it usually comes down to, especially in this technological age where it's not so close and personal anymore. So, yeah, I'm not really convinced that we're going to see some real action in these markets. We have 5 months to the general election, and every day the clock ticks. The politicians get nervous. They hate doing anything in the last 4 or 5 months of an election year. They really get scared at doing things, which means that we should be kind of like stuck at this situation for the next 4 or 5 months, and then it's a panic mode afterwards. Yeah, they especially if they lose all the seats that we think they're going to lose, then it turns into a panic mode. They try to pass all kinds of stuff, since they're not, they've lost their seat, and they have a couple months to do things still. I guess they have like a month and a half to do stuff. So, when it comes to looking at these markets in the metals, I really think we're going to see a better metal market going into 23. I think that'll be one thing right there. I was even looking at option spreads in that yesterday. And also, the oil market should back off. I mean, they will override the president on a lot of stuff, and if they get as many seats as I think they're going to get, they may have veto proof ability to override the president with veto proof. Even in other words, he vetoes something, they can override that. And that's the way the system works over here. It depends on the amount of seats you have. So now jumping over to, let's put it up on J4X before we jump. We'll go take a look at the cable from there. There it is right there. Okay, so you can see the weakness right there with the euro. You see the same action here. We had a down bar, but we had a green dot. And today you can see it's just flirting with the sell, just flirting, just like it's flirting with the weekly buy. There we go. Oop. Wrong colors. That one gets changed to that, and that one gets changed to that. There we are. That makes more sense. There we go. All right, cable. Let's see what the cable's doing this morning. Cable holding on. Nope, same as the euro. Just a little bit underneath the minus area. The weekly is trying to turn up. I think Mrs. Yellen and Powell and the president yesterday should have had some type of influence out of the whole process. Ooh, what do we got? Okay, there you go. See that? Good job, Giannis. I don't really see I see good intraday trading. I see nice potential for putting positions on for action to come. But I really think this is, one thing's for sure. The range has expanded back to normal. I'm going to explain that a little bit. For years, since they created quantitative easing, since 2008, 2009, to overall extent, the range of all the products have been relatively tight. They've gone in one direction, like, go up for months and months and months, in and out, but up in an upwardly direction or channel. But overall, the ranges have been tight, daily ranges, that is. And I think that, now we see a much wider range, which opens the doorway for better intraday trading. And I think that that's how the markets are going to really play themselves out. I think they're going to be very much consistently involved in better intraday trading, and it be setting up to have some great bigger positions too at the same time. Bigger in the sense of bigger runs, not bigger like you put a larger position on. Yeah, just bigger runs, more consistency with it. I think there's a lot of that potential coming here. I think we're going to see that. So let's see. From there, we jump over to. Do we have the cable up there? We didn't get the cable up on J4X. Let's get that up on there. Right there. You can see the same situation, same weakness, the red dot over here, the pressure on it right there. Now let's jump over to Turkish lira. Still haven't seen, I guess I saw another story today. It just says that Aragon is not going to allow terrorist nations to join NATO. So that's going to be a fun time there. You got a war in Central Europe going on, and those two countries want protection from NATO. I finished off my tea. So in this case here, you can see the Turkish lira is still moving up. Played a little bit, went into a sell there for a day right there. Been in a daily buy all the way through that whole move. And it's in the weekly buy for this is going on the third week, but it just isn't, really isn't, I guess you could say it's not really stopping. Whatever Mr. Aragon and his people are doing, it is obviously has a very negative effect right now. There's just not a lot of conviction whatsoever. In other words, money doesn't seem to want to be in the product again, which I thought giving out free puts was a wonderful thing. But he's done something. They've done some policy change there that it has changed the whole dynamic. Now our math has picked up on it, but we're not hearing it. I don't know. I don't think it coordinates with the NATO problem, but it could. It could. It could be literally the central banks saying, Mr. Biden using the central banks to beat up on Turkey. That would not surprise me. That is his nature. He does things like that. So he's always been a meanie. He's been not a nice guy. I don't remember the last time seeing a nice Joe Biden. I've paid attention to him for almost 50 years now. And, you need to know what the politicians are going to do with the markets a lot of times. The general long-term investing thing. And he's been a tough, nasty guy forever. All right. From there, let's see. Let's see what the dollar is doing too against the Turkish lira. There we are. You can see it there, and then putting it up on J4X. You see we're at the top end of the range again. Something has happened. Sooner or later we're going to see it. The news will come out, but at least the math is picking it all up. As usual, our math works really well on the Turkish lira. Robin, I'm waiting for somebody from Turkey to call you. Somebody in the government and say, hey, we'd like to subscribe to your service. Honestly, our math has been so good on Turkish lira for so long. I keep on thinking that sooner or later someone's going to think from the central bank, say, we need to follow these guys. I thought they did a brilliant job giving out free puts to people who buy the currency. That seemed like a brilliant idea to me, but something has broken there. Something has gone all wrong about that. All right, from there, let's jump over to the Canadian. Let's see what the neighbor's up to. It's been in a daily sell now for a bunch of days, all the way from back in there. You see we are flirting with the weekly right there. So the pressure is on that product right now in a positive way. Remember, this is going down against the dollar. So in other words, when it goes down against the dollar, it's making money. So there's less Canadian dollars. Let's put it up over here. There we are. And so Canadian's moving down, and normally Canadian does that when gold's going up in value or slash oil. More of oil than it is gold. For a long while, we used to watch the what they called the loonie trade. People get confused by that because they call the gold coins in Canada loonie, but and that is the New Zealand Canadian pairs trade has always had been a really interesting indicator for a long while, for years, decades. You know how the oil market is going to roll, and you can see here is the dollar CAD. Just kind of slowly marching on. So, that is the. Oh, sorry about that, Pablo. It happens. It's not the end of the world. There's always another broker out there, but you never know who's going to treat you well over time. But in your case, it sounds like things didn't work out. Good luck. The idea is to, find somebody that can do what you need done. Obviously, something about your not responding thing. What was it? The delivery thing you had to do? Yeah. I guess that's the way it goes. Good luck there. There is no one size fits all, and there's no perfect match for anybody. I use Ducascopy, and I use another one, and it's just the way and a third. I have 3, so just the way it goes. All right, let's see, where are we at now? We're going to go over to the metals market and the oil market just to take a quick look and see. So here is crude oil. It went into a sell yesterday on the front month. The back month did not, but the front month did. But today they're bouncing right back again. Now we're still underneath here, but we're in a weekly buy, so you don't want to take the short, that's for sure. And that kind of justifies the action you're seeing in the Canadian. It's going up because the oil is gaining in value again. So so in other words, it's gaining against the dollar, which means it's going down. In other words, there's less Canadians to buy a dollar. Then over there we go to the next side of this, is we jump over to the gold market. See what they're doing in gold. Where is the gold? There's the gold. And you can see gold, it was down $15 at one point today. And now gold has turned around and lifted back up, which is, kind of impressive, Kind of a little surprised. I was surprised to see it down $15 at one point today. I was like, wow, what are they doing? Just when you think just when you think something's going right, they smash it up even more. So August gold is down only like $1.80 now. But today's low, as you can see here, today's low is $18.30 and 20 cents. That's the low today. And it closed at $18.48. So this thing was down $18.20 at one point today. But it has turned around. You can see it went into the weekly buy last week, and now it's flirting back with the sell. But the daily is trying to make a shift, and you can see a red and green dot going on there. Now let's take a look at the South African Rand. And you can see that right there. The South African Rand on J4X there has been going down, which usually means that the currency is gaining, and the metals market is gaining. So that has been kind of interesting. Let's see, let's put it up on here. Yeah, look at that. So that doesn't surprise me. And yesterday they took it up, but it's still a daily sell. So the pressure's on. It's in a weekly sell for 1 week, It's in a daily sell now for, I don't know, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 9, 10, 11. This is the 12th day in a daily sell. So gold is, I'm sorry, the South African rand is heading down against the dollar, just the way Canadian is. And since that's going on, that's usually a good sign that there is strength in the metals market. And as you can see here, let's go back to the gold real quick. It's been drifting almost, it took out the low yesterday here, this low right there, and it took it out even more today. And then look at it. Now, what was yesterday's low? Yesterday's low was 37. So it dropped down to 18, was it? No, 30. Went down to 30. So it was down $18 total, though. And now look at it. It's plus now. Now we're up $1. So definitely the South African rand is definitely trying to push you into the direction of be long or be wrong. That's what it's trying to tell you there. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Let me think. What else is brewing here? From here we jump over to. Let's put the South African rand on our work too. There it is. From there, we jump over to the currency that will not be named. Ever since they locked their currency to gold and oil and minerals, it's obviously firmed it up enormously. It's almost gained twice the value. Ran up to almost 140, and it's traded down to 55. Not only that, it's like a .618 gain. 618 bounce in the reverse direction. Very impressive. That's what happens when you lock currency into something with value. And I guess they can exercise that currency for oil, which is a nice way to get, sell your product. Which is kind of funny, but that's the way I look at it. It's the way to sell your product. It's like an automatic delivery exercise. I like that, which gives value to your currency. Now, also it ties you to the dollar to a great extent also. Now, from there, we'll go over to the yen. There's the yen. You can see the yen's been trying to move up. It's slipped into a daily buy 3 days back. It went into a weekly sell last week, and now what it's doing is it's dancing slowly and softly up to the weekly buy number again. I don't have a lot of confidence that I'm not sure what's going on, but I don't have a lot of confidence that there's going to be that many big moves like we just saw. That was an incredibly Herculean move we saw over the last 6-7 weeks. With the Central European War and inflation and just oil price shocks from it all, and I just don't think that we're going to see big moves like that. We're going to see nice wide ranges though. As I was saying earlier in the webinar, I expect to see nice, consistent, wide ranges for intraday trading, but I don't expect to see the channels being changed. There'll be something. There's going to be a pop somewhere along the line. That's what always does in the summer. There's somewhere along the line in June or July. They pop the market, and it goes right back a week later, right where it ran from to. It runs back to it again. So that's not the most confused thing of all. I need a solution. I cannot transfer. No idea. I think you have to 911 P2P. Again, it's a telephony world. You just gotta work at communicating with people inside. Follow Janos's instructions and call and talk to someone and so forth. Janos has given you instantly responsive information. Capitalize on it. So let's see. What do we say about the yen? That's about it. I can see the yen getting up into the 35s. I can see it moving up into that area, 34s, something like that. I was impressed. I thought it was going to get down to 25, but it didn't do that. I thought it was going to go after this stuff right here. I'll show you what I was thinking. I really thought the yen, when it started to sell off, was going to go challenge this high right here and this congestion right there. But instead it's stalled out, and now it's playing in this area here and making that a bottom and turning up, which is kind of like if this thing gets into a weekly buy with this daily buy, woo, it could be, easily make that run to 35. Last but not least, let's check out the Mexican peso. There's peso just sitting underneath the bottom end of the range. We are flirting around with the daily buy number. You can see that's there. It's plot 4 is minus 0.0013. Now it just shifted to 19. And plot 1 is minus 0.0010. Now it's 20 on plot 4. Now it's 9 and 18. Okay. So, I kind of think that the Mexican peso is going to hang out around there. I'm hearing stories. Not on the financial side as much, but I understand people along the border who can drive over to Mexico to buy baby formula and fill up their gas. They produce something like 4 million barrels a day or something like that. So their gas prices are held down nicely. It's like there's only one oil company, I think, in Mexico. And so, it's like, it's a state-sponsored structure. The government is semi-socialist, I guess you could say. So that's kind of neat in that fashion, is that people are going to Mexico to buy items, which could literally, because of the size of our economy, that can pop an economy when you have Americans rushing across your border buying things. So that could be some of the strength we're seeing. So then they need to buy the Mexican peso, and that's what's going on there. You can see that the peso is gaining value against the dollar, so they must be buying it. Yeah, that's it. I was trying to remember the name. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, that's like a one what do they call that? A company town. Mexico is a company town, right? I'm sure there's some independent gas stations, but it's basically one company that does all the refining and all the drilling and all like that. I don't think their oil market is open to the public. In other words, it's not like here where we have Royal Dutch Shell and British Petroleum, and we have even the Russian company. We have an Indian company here in the United States. We have a bunch of different companies that are selling gasoline and so forth, and I think they may even, some of them might, I'm not sure if they're refining here or not, but in the end result is that they're competitive here. Many different companies, not counting, ExxonMobil, that's one, because they both merged together. Then there's like Hess, and then there's, not counting all the little independents, and trying to think who else is out there. There's a Chevron, there's British Petroleum has gas stations here too. So, and Shell has gas stations here. So it's very dynamic here, and so when you hear the stories of people running across the border to buy gas and buy baby formula, that would make sense why we're seeing the strength in the currency. Cool. All right. That pretty much does it for the currency pairs. If anybody does see one that they would like to, take a look at again, just give us a shout and we'll take a look at it. Now, there is the, that's what I was looking for earlier at the webinar. I wanted to see where at 8:30, there's that low right there. There it is at 32,722 area right there. They did that in the first half hour of the market yesterday, and then you could see it was a ride up, playing with a range all of a sudden, trying to make a new low in the range, and then zoom off it went again. And you can see here it's still finding ways to go higher. There's right there. There's your first There's the buy right there, actually. No, that's it right there. There's your buy. Hasn't gone anywhere. There was a good buy right there. That sell was a fair little sell. Just a small gain out of it. And if you're using stops with these high, fast intraday trades, then you don't usually get beat up and you win. And so you can see here a nice sell, nice buy, nice buy. The buy was right there. Nice sell right there. Nice buy. Buy was right there. Took a little bit to get there, but it was a winner chicken dinner. There's a nice buy right there. Was that like the London Open maybe? No, that's yesterday's markets at that point. All right. Let's see. From the stock industry, that was the Dow. I wanted to show you that low with our math at the same time. Matter of fact, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. That's what I wanted to look at. What it looked like with our math. That's what I wanted to show you. So it went down to 722. We were in a sell for that. Then it did one of that real choppy stuff, and then it jumps into the buy here at 727 to 6 points, 5 points, and then it kind of gave you a little sell again and right back into a buy again. It was nice. Very interesting action we saw with that. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm still convinced that maybe Thursday could be a challenge to that low. I don't know. I guess the insiders now are all happy. I've seen some of the strangest stories. Like, okay, the Fed put is back. Things like that. It's like, oh my God, the Fed put is back. And then I got a text this morning from one old trader that who's like 70 years of experience or something, like 65 years of experience, and he was saying that he heard that how did he phrase it? So that interest rates are that's it. Today they're starting to sell the balance sheet. That's what it was. He was saying they're selling the balance sheet, so they're figuring that the interest rates, if they don't move from selling the balance sheet, supposedly they're selling the balance sheet today. I said to him, who's going to buy it? And more than likely, the Fed will buy it from another account. That's usually the way it works. So, but in the end result is that that's what quantitative easing is all about. Insider trading. It's state-sponsored insider trading. So, yeah, he said that. We'll see. But you can see here at the stock market. Let's see if we can put all the right there. We'll put them all up there together. You can see the S&P 500 is up 22 points. You can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 228 points, 29 points, 30 points there. And you can see that the Tech 100 is up 90 points right there. So there is some buying out there, and they're not letting go. And Mrs. Yellen, basically gave Mr. Powell marching orders what to do, and what they'll do is they'll let their friends know, and they'll fill in with all the money managers and so forth that are allied with them, and they'll have a better idea so they can get back in there nibbling. And they may have been concerned about the balance sheet. Think about it. I guess the week before the balance sheet is going to be start to liquidate, the stock market had a 6+% move up across the markets. So the Dow Jones had a 6+ something, almost a 7. Same thing with the S&P 500, and the same thing with the Tech 100. So, they probably said, "Don't worry, we're going to go tell Powell to chill out. Take a pill." And that's probably basically what's happened there. All right, what should we talk about today on what this title could be? Yesterday we said the Fed fighting with the metals, the Fed war on metals. That's what yesterday's was. today is, I think, more of the idea that we're in a good trading range, and it should stick around for like three months at least, something like that, 2 months. I think that'll be pretty much what it comes down to. Everybody's back trying to get back into the trading range, and I think that's how it's going to play out too. It makes total sense to me. So, traders, that's about it for the day. We will catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow's already Thursday. I'm so excited. I love it. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, catch you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Ta-ta for now.